Hey everyone, welcome to the Scratch Project. This is a special episode. We normally don't go until Sunday or Saturday, but I have with me Division Two outright second place winner at Nationals, Lance Christensen Jr. Um, man, I don't know what to say, so let's have the man say it himself. You know, Lance, welcome to the show, man.
How's it going, man?
It's going
Hello,
pretty
everyone.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Man, you look like you're getting ready to go get a pump in, or did you already get a pump in?
yeah. I just got done at the gym. I'm gonna sit outside of Pancheros, my favorite, and gonna go get a quick burrito bowl. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is Lance Christensen Jr. I live in Kyle, South Dakota. I'm Oglala Lakota, Native American. It's a tribe on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. I live smack dab in the center of it, and that'll be important later on when we get into the story a little bit. But yeah, there you go.
All right. All right. So for those of us, and me included, who don't know you, what is I'd say what are the three things that we should know about Lance Christensen Jr.?
Yep. I'm sorry, I took a drink of water. Went down the wrong pipe earlier, but
Been
um,
there, brother. Been there.
yeah. But I guess three things you should know about me. One, well, let's talk about my golf career a little bit. My first 4 years of college, I went to New Mexico State University, Division One school, um, and out of there, played some tournaments and stuff like that. And in that time, we were actually like a top 50 to a top 70 team in the nation. My tenure at New Mexico State, so I got to play some high level stuff against schools like Texas and Arizona and Arizona State and all the biggest schools in the nation, LSU, all of them, and got to have some good experience there. But my last year, I just wasn't playing enough, and so um, after that tenure there, I decided it was best for me to head out, and then uh, so I went in the portal, tore my hamstring, kind of lost the offers that I had initially in the portal to go Division One again, and I was like thinking, and then Colorado Christian University hit me up. And then so we had a season with them, and it was great. We went to Hawaii, went to Cancun, Mexico. We played all over the country, and then I was like, all right, this is amazing getting to play every tournament every week, and that was an awesome thing. So, well, I found that competitive spirit again, that competitive drive, and I found out how much I actually belong and how good at golf I actually am. And then I went. Second thing you need to know about me is I finished outright second place at the NCAA championship, and at the time for about an hour and 45 minutes, I tied the all time NCAA scoring record at minus 13, NCAA national championship scoring record before the eventual winner came in and even another record. But any other year I would have won or tied. So that was a pretty awesome feeling to be able to do.
Yeah.
And I guess the third thing you need to know about me before we get into all that other stuff is I grew up in Kyle, South Dakota on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, and I didn't have a golf course within 45 miles of me. The nearest golf course for me was 45 miles. So I grew up on the reservation. There was no golf courses, there was no opportunity for golf, but I really enjoyed it. I really found out at a young age that I had a talent for it, and so I really worked my butt off and I drove all the time. There's a documentary on YouTube called "Driven" by about Lance Christensen Jr. by Midcoast Sports. You can go check it out if you want to. But there you go. Those are the three
Hey,
things you need to know about me.
and great plug right there. That's amazing. That's just natural. So you grew up on the reservation. Um, how did you get your practice in? Like, how did you improve your skills on your days in the reservation?
Yeah, so funny enough, I actually made a driving range in my backyard. So like I flattened out a little spot right in my backyard to make a perfect driving range. I got the right type of seed. I did it every year. I did this on my own. When I was 15 years old, I was making my own driving range. I put tires out at 50 yards, and across the creek, I had a tire out at 130, 140, 150, and then so on and so forth, 170, 200, even if I had it. And then we'd go out there and mow. And then I get donations from this place out in Chicago. I'm not too sure where the golf balls came from, but we get the golf balls. They bring them in. They bring us in about anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 golf balls a year, and I would hit them up every single year. So I was averaging that much golf balls just in the summer. So even though I didn't have a golf course, I was still practicing and hitting the ball more than my competitors were. So my ball striking was on another level compared to the rest of the people and whatever. So like everyone kind of is like, how in the hell did you do it? Are you just that talented? Or you like, or maybe you're not even that good. You're just saying you're good because you've had it in the backyard or whatever. Maybe it's just like a puff piece or something. But I really just put in that much effort and that put in that much golf balls. Like by the beginning of the year, it was a perfect flat surface on my backyard with the grass, and then by the end of the year, it was just torn up and torn to pieces, and there was no grass left. So that's what it
So
took.
what
And
you're
then,
telling me is by the beginning of the year it looked like a great driving range, and by the end of the year you could plant crops.
yep, exactly. There was no one really else helping me on that too. So it was all me.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna compound on this a little bit then. So
hmm
your ball striking came from the driving range that you set up every year for yourself.
hmm
So how did you work on your short game then? Like how did you work on your chipping, your putting?
So to compound, um, I've had put tires up from 50 yards on in, out on my little driving range right there, and it's a funny enough. You did it only once or twice a year would we actually drive around the creek with our side by side and go pick up 5,000 golf balls, whatever. But that would get pretty annoying to do. So we would just hit all the time from 50 yards, 30 yards, 20 yards, just down to those tires. And then eventually goes to the golf course and that shot's just kind of natural. So that's where my pitching and short game kind of came from. And then so I would drive that 45 miles every day in the summer. So like growing up, a day looked like for me, wake up at 5 a.m., go on a run, go to the gym, go to work until noon. Noon, I'd drive straight to the golf course after I get some lunch, and I would stay there until about 10 o'clock at night. Um, until they about kicked me off the golf course basically, and eventually they just started giving me a key. But um but it, it was pretty cool. It was definitely an experience to work that hard at something at a young age, and I didn't realize I was getting much better. I would just spend 3 hours on the practice green before I would go play. That was a rule. I would when I was on the course, I would take my practice serious, and I would play different games to make sure I was still locked into my game and stuff like that. So this is kind of crazy. You get better without knowing it when you're working that hard.
Yeah, I would say I think driven is the right word for that little piece they did on you. To be
hmm
honest, that's incredible. But I've also noticed, and I say this jokingly to a lot of my friends, that all of us who enjoy the game of golf and those of us who love the game of golf, we're all a little psycho, just a little bit, to love the game that can be so fickle to us and be so cruel to us. But then we get that one shot, that one series, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask then, we've gone through the training portion. When you actually played golf for the first time, or, you know, what was it that drew you to the game of golf? Like, what was it, a shot? Was it an experience you had?
Well, I mean, my first and foremost, I always give credit to my dad and my family and my mom. Like my mom, she on her side of the family, she had family that was out of El Paso, Texas, the Mendozas. And they moved up here later on in life, but they had a batch of golfers that were all just really into it, really good high level semi-pro golf. A couple of them were semi-pro golfers, and so growing up, I wanted to be like them. Of like
Right.
being a professional golfer wasn't unimaginable. It wasn't something that was like, oh, I don't
Because
think
you
I'll
had
ever be
people
able
in
to do
your
that.
circle that were at that level.
At that level, none of them reached the PGA Tour, but I heard that they have been PGA or like they had been semi pros or they've been really good at golf. So like shooting a shooting under par at 10 years old for me wasn't like a big deal, like it was like, oh, I know people who do that. So then I was lucky to have that. But two, my dad, he was a really good golfer in high school. He turned his college offers down to go play or to go run college track. And then once he got done with track and everything, we had me and then all that, he got really back into golf and he started a program at our high school. And same situation as me. He ended up having 21 state qualifiers out of Little Wound High School in Kyle, South Dakota. Believe it or not, I don't know anyone that has 21 state qualifiers with no golf course. You know, and then and throughout his life and then his coaching career, I should say. And so he just taught me everything that he knows. His knowledge of the game is that of somebody who has been a PGA professional for multiple years. So he taught me the game, and then from there I was just like from an early age, once I learned about the game from these people and I believed I could do it. Once I got out there in the competition, sure, I didn't have the same resources. Sure, there was people training in the nicer clubs than me and the nicer push carts and all this stuff and whatever, but internally I always just realized that I was able and capable to do more things with the golf ball and with a golf club in my hands than people that have with more opportunities were able to do. I just kept realizing that, and I was just like, I don't know, why would I stop if I'm able to beat these guys that practice are able to practice twice as much as me on a golf course? And I was just like, what if one day I get to practice on a golf course every day, or what if one day I get the opportunities that these guys get? Then what will happen? Well,
Then it's over.
yeah, then and then look at me now.
Yeah.
I was right.
Um, yeah, you were right, man. And I have a little thing I want to add to what you just said there because it's actually really critical. Um, it doesn't like I'm going to get new golf clubs, right? Just because mine are too tall for me, so I'm going to get shorter ones. But I can tell you right now, if I go and get older clubs or if I go and get newer clubs, I'm not going to Golf Galaxy with the intention of getting the brand new stuff. I'm looking for what works best for me. But I know people who think just because they have new clubs that automatically like that's going to improve their game. It's not true. Because there's a guy that I play with and he's still playing, Cobra F Rads from 2016. And I'm sure I know you guys have the sponsorship stuff and you get your clubs, but I'm sure you have your old reliables, your favorites, where you're just like, oh yeah, that's go to. That's I could swing this club 1,000 times and hit my spot 1,000 times.
Oh well, it's like tuning a guitar or I don't know, the right pair of basketball shoes on the basketball court. It's not the end of the world. Like the chords are still the same, and the basketball court still plays the same. But at the end of the day, getting fitted for your golf clubs is very, very important. And if you want to play at the highest level that you can play at, that your skill is capable of play at, you have to have the golf clubs that are fit to you, right? Like the guitar is fit to you, or like the shoe is fit to you. Um, that just makes it easier. Now, does that discredit the fact that you have to practice to get to a certain level? No, absolutely not. Fitting is a part
It's
of it.
just giving you the tools.
It's giving you the tools to be able to do it. If you're holding a golf club, and it comes down even to the grip. Like you're holding a golf club, and I have big hands, right? If you're holding the golf clubs that's too small in your hands, then you're not ever going to be able to hold the club off, right? It's always just going to release too much. Those are things like that that are important. If the golf club, if you're a 20 handicap and you're trying to swing the new TP, or sorry, the new T100s, that's not going to work either. You're not. That's this. You're never going to be able to hit those type of that little tiny head. So there's things that or if you don't have the swing speed, you need to have more of a cavity back so you can hit it farther. And there's a guy you can go to your nearest golf galaxy and he'll tell you all what I just told you. But those things matter. But you got to practice though. You got to practice more so than anything. You got to find it in the dirt too, not in the pro shop.
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite things that I found is it's a King Tech 50 degree. It's a Cobra King Tech 50 degree, and my friend just had it in the back of his car, and I got it for like $20 from him. It's nice, but the clubs that I'm looking at going and getting are cavity back. I'm looking to going and getting shorter irons, the King Tech irons, which are the Cobra irons, and they have that cavity back, which I have a little bit of trouble getting the ball in the air. I'm a 21 handicap right now. I was
Mm-hmm.
35 handicap last year. So I've gotten some of the basics down, but I still have a really bad right leakage, so I need help with that. And you were talking about grip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put your hands up for the crowd to see real quick. How big of the hands do you have?
I don't know. I think it's like 7.5 inches from here to there, right? But
So
I have
what's
long, skinny
your
fingers.
so what is your grips? Do you go mid-size or jumbo, or do you go
No,
like
so
mid-size
well,
and
it's
then
a,
wraps?
it's a little bit of a science. It's like I go mid-size +4 golf pride grips
Right.
on my irons and my wedges, and that has 3 tapes on it. So basically, it's a jumbo, but the jumbo grips are fat from start to finish. You see,
Hmm.
there's no feel in your fingertips. I don't like that feeling because like when I choke down on the club, this might be like Chinese, but when I choke down on the club, I like to feel a little bit more release in my fingertips. Right. I don't want the fat end of the grip to be fat, or the closer to the club. I don't want it to be fat, so that's why I do that. And then on my woods, I go +4 mid-size grip in the Golf Pride, like the cord one, like the cord. I
Yeah.
can't remember the
The
name
the
of the top of my
360
head.
chord or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and then I do that same type of concept. Just because I have, like I said, I have skinny fingers, so like long skinny fingers, so that's why I kind of like it. I like to feel in my
See,
fingers, but a little room.
I have mid-size grips, MCC Aligns, but I've got the opposite problem as you. You've got long, skinny fingers. I got little sausages.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
no, like it's all preference. Like it does not matter what somebody else told you to do. It only
yeah.
matters what feels comfortable in your hand. That's literally it. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to get the golf club to a point where when you get to the top of your swing, the club's not moving. When you get down here, it feels comfortable. And we're just trying to get back to square, right? That's all it is.
Yeah. And that's why I was considering for myself, since I've got fatter fingers, I was
Yeah.
thinking about going to jumbo grips just a little bit. Not like the crazy jumbo grips, but just like the actual jumbo grips.
The plus
Because,
four mid size, the +4 mid size is a good one to try out for sure.
yeah, because it's just like I have the problem, especially like with my long irons and sometimes my woods, is that I'll hit the ball, but then as after I hit the ball, the club will start to turn over in my hand and it turns into a dead shot.
Yep, most definitely.
So, all right, let's go with you. We got a little bit left here. I want to know what makes Lance Christensen tick, though. Like when you're out there, it's one thing for you've been practicing your whole life, you do it to compete, but like when you are out there competing, it's you against the course, right?
Hmm.
What is your mindset? Like, what do you have going on, or what do you not have going on in your head that gets you into that zone where you can compete at your highest possible level?
Yeah. Um. Sometimes it starts like sometimes you have to like you're in a tournament over here and the next day you're in a tournament over here. Sometimes it starts the day out, right? But I'm a firm believer that your mindset is 24/7. Like your competitive mindset is all the time. Whether that's meditation, stretching, weight room, doing things that are hard, waking up early, going on runs, doing things that are just harder, breath work, whatever that may be for you, doing things in your life that will prepare you to be in a competitive, chaotic mind, right? So here's one thing that always kind of carried that chip on my shoulder is like 99% of the time I'm in a golf tournament, I'm the only Native American. I At a time I was the only Native American Division 1 golfer in the entire country, and I'm only the second Native American to ever receive NCAA All American honors as well. So it isn't necessarily like a chip on my shoulder, not like I hate anyone else, but I have to remember as well that I'm carrying a whole entire nation on top of on my back, and I have to do everything that I can to represent them well because we come from a strong people, a strong lineage and history of people and our ancestors that are carrying that with me. So always that's something I always try to remember is that like I am more than just your every average person. I'm carrying so much more than that, and there are so many people that are looking up to me, and I have developed a mindset to be able to look away from that. 99% of people look at that as pressure. I look at that as motivation and happiness. And so that's what kind of drives me every single day is like it's not and people try to put in my mind that it's pressure, but it's not. I don't see it as
It's
that,
not pressure, it's pride.
It's pride. It's who I am.
And when you play with pride of a people, that's powerful. Like that is people would say, "Oh, he's feeling the pressure." No, if anything, bro, you should be feeling the pressure. If you got, you got to sit over here try and get in his head and say, "Oh, it's pressure." You're the one feeling the pressure. He's out here doing his thing, representing his people, and you're like, "Oh man, this guy, he's a reservation kid, and he's smoking me right now."
Yep. So here's a story before we close out. Was at the NCAA tournament. First day I shoot 3 under and I'm right there. I think I'm in eighth place or fifth place or something. Second day I shoot 2 under on a hard windy day. It was a gritty 2 under. I went birdie birdie on the last 3 holes to get that. And then so I'm grinding it out. And then the night before the tournament, I'm just kind of sitting there like just thinking. Or night before the last round of the tournament. I'm sitting there kind of thinking about like, dang, like all the hard things I've been through, and like, dang, like I'm finally here. Like I climbed that mountain and I finally I could see it right there. I'm just trying to fight those feelings off, right? And I remember like right before I went to bed, I kind of like to do a little bit of deep breaths before I go to bed, before a tournament like that. Cause that feeling of like you almost fall off a high diving board, or like that nervous feeling.
Yeah,
Imagine that in a golf tournament, you're feeling that for about 5 or 6 days straight. Right. And it never really turns off. It does at points, but it never really turns off. You're almost feeling that for 6 days straight. It's the best feeling in the world, but it can drive you a guy about nuts. And
I think
so I
they
was
call that
feeling
an
that.
adrenaline high.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was feeling that, and I was trying to fight that off, right? I just remember sitting there, and I was like, you know what? You're feeling this feeling, whatever, but just let it push you, because you worked so hard to feel this feeling. This is what you played for. And I guarantee you, there might be guys that might be more talented out there than you. There might be guys that might have more of this, that, and the other, but not a single one of them has worked as hard as you to get back from this injury that you had under a year ago, and to fight back and to just fight to be able to just play this game. Not be in this position, but just to be able to play at a 9 hole golf course. And so I went in there with that mindset, and I ended up going shooting 64 in the final round and getting second place, and being one of the best tournaments to ever play in the NCAA national championship ever. And top three tournament ever. And then it was funny because I rolled in my last putt at May 20th at a right around 4 o'clock. And so,
And you didn't know until almost 6.
uh, yeah, until at 4 o'clock. And then I tapped it in on May 20th at 4 o'clock is the exact time I tore my hamstring a year prior to that. So it's just one of those
Oh,
things, man. If you just put your head down and work and believe in yourself, and don't let the external people and whoever they are tell you that you're not capable, or tell you that this is more logical and you should take this path. If you don't listen to that, and you just keep grinding every day and keep believing in yourself internally, you're gonna accomplish great things.
I believe in that. All right, man. Before we get out of here, I want to give you the floor. What are you doing in the future? What can we expect to see from you? And, plug yourself. What do we got going on, Lance?
Yeah, I'm I'm working towards my professional golf career right now. I'm hoping to make that start here in August. I just have some I guess some logistics I need to work out on everything, and then I'll make my announcements and everything. But other than that, I'm still working on my golf brand. I do Driven. Here, I'm gonna get a sticker real quick for you guys. Everyone go follow Driven on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's on there. It is my brand I started about a year ago. The year when our anniversary was about 3 years ago.
Hey,
And
could you
or sorry,
flash that one more time?
3 days ago. Sorry. Here we go.
Driven.
Driven. Everyone go
That's a
follow Driven.
sick logo.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Troy FICO was the guy that made it for me. Go follow him as well. And then I'm working towards that. I'm doing youth golf camps and stuff like that, kind of for a living. And then Yeah, just waiting on for the next tournament, man. I'm trying to go find the next one. So go follow Driven and follow along on that process. It's all over there.
All
Everything that I'm
right.
doing.
All right, man. I can tell you without a doubt, this was one of the most fun interviews that I've had. It was a pleasure having you, and I hope we can do this again.
You bet, man. Thank you.
All right, man. I know you got some work to get in. I know you're hungry, so you
All right,
go and
y'all.
get in that, go get that fuel to go, drive you further. Everyone go check out Driven on Instagram. Is there any other socials you'd like to plug that the people can go follow?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram as well, Lance_605.
All right. You heard the man. This was the Scratch Project. This was Lance Christensen. I'm Pods Plays Golf. I'll see you guys next week. Lance, thank you so much for coming on, brother. I hope we can have you on again very soon.
All right, you bet. Remember to stay driven.
Stay driven. All right, guys. Catch you. Skunked Golf. Look good even if your game stinks.